Friday, December 9th. You are listening to weather from the National Weather Service. Area forecast discussion from the National Weather Service, Chicago, 6:23 a.m. This was issued for 3:31 a.m. Central Standard Time, Friday, December 9th through tonight. The key messages for today are precipitation, initially in the form of rain, developing eastward across the area prior to daybreak. Continued likelihood for the rain to change to about a 3 to 5 hour period of accumulating wet snow after 7 or 8 this morning through midday or early this afternoon, especially for areas along and north of Interstate 88 and inland of Lake Michigan. Precipitation rates abate this afternoon, though light rain and drizzle may persist into tonight. Early morning water vapor loops show a compact but vigorous shortwave impulse now shifting eastward across Iowa, with the initial arc of warm air advection-driven precipitation now beginning to develop eastward across western parts of the area. And again, this was written 3:31 a.m., especially along and west of Interstate 39 as of this writing. Expect this arc of precipitation to shift into northeastern Illinois and northwestern Indiana by daybreak this morning, and persist through around midday or early afternoon before a mid-level dry punch brings an end to the heavier precipitation later this afternoon. Thermal profiles early this morning will be warm enough to support rain at precipitation onset. However, dynamic cooling, by the way, just a little, is when the precipitation falls on heavy enough to bring the cold air from up above down to the surface. Dynamic cooling of the column is expected to ramp up after daybreak as the Iowa impulse begins to shift over the Mississippi River. Falling heights and cooling aloft should drive sufficient cooling to support a changeover to about a 3 to 5 hour period of all snow mid to late this morning, especially along and north of Interstate 88, though some flakes could fall as far south as the Interstate 80 corridor mid to late morning. During this period, strong forest descent and steep lapse rates of 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer through the favored dendritic growth zone, DGZ, will support moderate to heavy rates of snow, at least briefly up to 1 inch per hour near the Wisconsin state line. Also cannot rule out a few lightning strikes and possibly some sleet with this activity mid to late morning. So we might be getting thunder snow mid to late morning today. While service temperatures and wet bulbs will likely be hovering at just or above freezing during the snow, some travel impacts are likely both from reduced visibility and likely slushly accumulations on area roads. The main threat area for travel disruptions this morning continues to be favored across the northern counties in Illinois, where the winter weather advisory resides. No changes are planned to this advisory, though I cannot rule out some travel disruptions extending just south of the current advisory later this morning. Conditions will improve from southwest to northeast across the area this afternoon as a mid-level dry slot moves into the area and forced ascent begins to wane. This will bring an end to the heavier precipitation rates and accumulating snow over the northern areas. Expect some light rain showers and or drizzle to persist at times through the afternoon. However, as low-level moisture remains in place, the threat of drizzle and potentially even some fog will continue into tonight. Fortunately, surface temperatures should remain above freezing this afternoon and tonight, therefore limiting the threat for any additional wintry precipitation and travel impacts into tonight.